you've watched my videos before, you'll realize that I'm kind of terrified of going back to school. And I realize the reason behind this is because of the skinny girl identity crisis. You see, when I was in my restrictive eating disorder, all I thought about was my eating disorder and what its effects would be on my body. You see, I either thought about my next meal or fantasized about a fictional next meal. I was obsessed with how many calories I ate or obsessed with the calories I burned off. I also was envious of others. I don't know how many 10,000 calorie challenges I've watched on YouTube, but it was a lot, and it was like food porn for me. I would just be so envious of those people that got to eat all of those things, and I wanted that, but I didn't want that at all. I was also wary of the effects that it would have on my body, and I would focus on that. I would do body checking tests. I would think of how I looked in any situation. It's kind of terrible how much it takes over your mind, because your friend or your family member could be going through the hardest time, but you honestly cannot get in that mind space to react to that with sincere emotion, because on your mind the whole time is your body and your food and your exercise. So the skinny girl identity, even if you're not skinny during an eating disorder, still there. You're still kind of reaching for it. When you try and fight tooth and nail with your body, it's not going to go well for your mind. You're in here, and you're carried in this. And those two need to be in a cohesive relationship. And if they're not, then one of the people is going to suffer, or both of them, because, your body suffers and your mind suffers. So when I was trying to recover from an eating disorder, I was scared of losing that identity. I was scared of what people would say when they would say that I am not a skinny little girl anymore. I'm not obsessed of eating healthily or going on the Stairmaster every day or walking around for hours. I'm not that person. Instead, I'm my temporary recovery self. And although that isn't truly me, you can see glimpses of me within this stage of my life. Recovery makes you a transitional person. You're still very aware of how you look because your eating disorder is still within, and you're aware of what you eat and how much, and sometimes you feel guilty for resting and eating. But you know that in your true self that's starting to flourish and blossom within you, that it's good for you, that the fat upon your skin and your bones is healing. You can draw sort of an appreciation for your recovery body, but you can never draw an appreciation for your skinny girl identity. So as I go back to school, I realize that people are going to notice that I'm not the skinny girl anymore. That's not my identity. I'm not frail and bony and hard and cold. My goodness gracious, I was always cold. I'm warm. I'm inviting, I hope to be, and I can truly embrace their emotion. It's so sad when you're in the midst of an eating disorder and you feel like you're empathetic towards somebody and really feeling what they're feeling, but you cannot possibly grasp the emotion of a situation. When you're with a friend and they're going through something, or a family member, you try and be there for them, but in your mind, you're not truly thinking of them. You can't be when you're totally destroying every part of your body. You're thinking about yourself, and it's not selfish because that's what your body does when it's in a panic. It thinks about how you can solve the situation. And thinking about food is one of the mechanisms. It's just tragic. So I will be there for my friends, for my people, and I will be a lot of pounds heavier, and there's nothing really I can do about that. I am just going to give better hugs now. I'm going to be able to be with people instead of exercising, and I'm going to be truly myself. That's not to say that recovery will come into grips here. Definitely I will have those days where I'm destroyed and upset and my eating disorder creeps up and knocks on my brain. It's gonna happen, but people will be able to see glimpses of my true self. So the skinny girl identity is not what you want. It's not what you want in life. It's not worth it, because You may feel good about yourself sometimes on the fleeting occasion that you actually do feel good about yourself, but it's so temporary and so not you. You are not authentic when you are striving to be something that your body is not. I'm never going to be meant to be skinny. I'm never going to be meant to be very thin. That's just not who I am. And although I would love to be that, I need to move on. I need to let that part of me die. I need to mourn what I thought I could control and move on. So as I go back to school and you go back to wherever you were when you had your eating disorder and the people that you were with, yes, it is scary to give up that skinny girl, and yes, it is scary when people notice that you don't hold the skinny girl identity. However, it's so wonderful. They need to adjust, you need to adjust, and be sure if you need to call them out when they're not helping you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, if somebody hurts me and mistakes me for the persona that I played when I was in my eating disorder, I'll call them out. Those things didn't match up. I wasn't skinny and me. But now I'm becoming me, and you're becoming you. Recovery is temporary, and every day in recovery you're finding your true self. I hope this video is some encouragement to you. I hope that the skinny girl identity can slowly break and die, and you can become you. I'm always here for you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.